across the USA. Welcome to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection, a presentation of Shipyard Sports as we continue to expand our social media footprint with Fergs TV, and we're going to launch a high school show as well. We'll talk a little bit about that. But each and every Saturday, we bring you a positive perspective from the Pee-wees to the preps to the pros. And on this August 8th, 2026, we're live from Fergs Sports Bar and Grill, America's #1 sports bar, as recognized by USA Today. In the house, to my left, is baseball Ben Botham, and royalties in the house. We got Kip Engel. Kip Engel is an accomplished, do you call yourself a collector?
I do, absolutely. Always will be a collector. The joy of getting started early in your life and roll until you're an old man.
Well, you're not an old man, and he's a former, his resume is very impressive, folks. He's the former communications director with the New York Yankees and his beloved St. Louis Cardinals. And to his left is an author, former writer for the Tampa Bay Times, a Florida State graduate, and he is Michael Loritz, author of Curveball at the Crossroad. And what's the new one you're penning?
Chaos in the Corner, coming soon.
When you said that last week, I thought, corner makes sense, baseball. No,
it's a pro wrestling novel.
of course it is.
You know, combat sports have corners too.
Well, we've got an excellent show as always. It's kind of nice. I mean, I love it when we have baseball across the street, but it's nice when you can come down and navigate parking. You probably took the Sunrunner.
Always got to be on that Sunrunner.
Oh, yeah.
Straight to the ballpark.
He lives in my favorite neighborhood, and you've been there many times. He lives over in Treasure Island.
Oh, it's great over
right
there.
Off of Sunset Beach.
I've taken the Sunrunner down there a few times, did a little beach crawl with my bike, and went up and down over Johns Pass Bridge, and had a darn good time.
I can believe that, Ben. It's great for game day. You pop right on there, and you come over to Fergs, get yourself a little pregame in at Fergs, a little postgame in at Fergs, and
Pre and post.
hop right on the bus.
A lot going on at Fergs all the time, as we talk about. You know what? Thursday night, the NFL started, the Hall of Fame game, and now we can officially start talking football. The Bucks have been in camp for over a week, and I'm getting that fever. However, we're going to dedicate a lot of time to the conversation about baseball today, since I've got 3 baseball guys in the house, and there's plenty to talk about. Was it last year you went to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Cooperstown?
I think it was last summer.
It
was
last summer.
It was Ichiro's induction. Dave Parker. You know, it was really, really cool. What an amazing experience, and I got to see some of my friends up there. Ray Burris, former Major League Baseball pitcher with the Cubs and several other organizations. I got to hang out with him a little bit, see the behind the scenes of Cooperstown, because man, the pros there, the guys who have actually been in the show. They kind of run the town there. They have their own little special hotel, their own golf course. It's pretty neat what they got going on.
Yeah, there's nothing like the Otis saga on Hall of Fame weekend, and I had the pleasure of going there as the Yankees representative in 1983 and 84, and so you have all the old timers in the day there, Mike, and it makes it for a really exciting time.
Oh man, especially on the Yankees side of the house. I mean, probably 10% of the Hall of Fame, or probably 30% of the Hall of Fame's played for the Yankees at some point.
Absolutely. The crazy thing, nobody wanted to go from the Yankees organization because it's a winding drive up the road from New York City to Cooperstown, and it takes forever to get there. So they sent the 23-year-old, go up there and represent the Yankees. I was thrilled.
Imagine that drive from right here in St. Petersburg.
I felt like I was part of the drive because you were texting me the entire way.
I was texting him. I made one stop in Savannah, and then the rest of the way, all the way on up there. It was a hell of a drive. I got a flat tire in Scranton, Pennsylvania. A big old nail was in there. Yeah, I pulled out my little Leatherman and pulled out the nail, plugged it, filled it on up, and I made it all the way from Pennsylvania to Florida on a leaky tire.
Hey,
it was fun.
A little bit later in the show, we're going to talk actually pretty quickly here. We're going to have a conversation with Barry Smith. We love Barry. He's the former Florida State standout, held a bunch of their records, got drafted #1 by the Green Bay Packers, and then in 1976, an expansion team. Our own Tampa Bay Bucks came along. He'd had enough of the frozen tundra being a Miami kid, and they picked him up, and the rest is history. He had his entire career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we're going to do a comparison like we did last week with Randy Grimes, 1976 when they started. What was camp like? What were expectations? And the bond that these guys, to this day, I've had a good portion of them on the air. And the bond, these guys golf together all the time. They meet at events. It's a special bond. And they didn't win one damn game in 1976. And a lot of it had to do with ownership and poor decision-making. But we're going to talk to him. And then we're going to really ratchet it up as far as baseball. Peter Gollenbach's going to join us.
Oh, great.
And, of course,
Exciting.
Peter will sit right next to you. You two can, two authors, have conversations. He's penned over 40 books, I think it is, isn't it, Kip?
It sure is, and all wide-ranging from the Brooklyn Dodgers through the Yankees, St. Louis. He's very
Chicago
diverse.
Cubs.
There we go.
The Mets book he wrote as well.
Oh, yeah, coming from an old Mets fan.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
a Mets fan.
I got him to sign mine. That was really cool.
Absolutely.
Hey, would you say that Bronx Zoo got recognized more as the #1 book in New York Times,
Yeah.
or Mick? Which one do you think?
Well, I would say Bronx Zoo. He didn't do Roger Engels did Boys of Summer. What didn't he? Yeah, that was not Peter's book. But yeah, I would say Bronx Zoo is probably Peter's most famous. I mean, just that Yankees 70s Yankees to be able to document that is that that
Epic.
really was a zoo.
And he was sitting down with these guys, and what he would do, which is really cool, and you'd be right up your alley, and you've done a lot of this with your golf auction, go to the player's home and have conversation and figure out estates. But he would go to their home and hang out, and that's how he'd write the book.
Yeah, absolutely. He was great friends with Sparky Lyle and Greg Puff Nettles.
I think Sparky'd be pretty proud of those Boston Red Sox right now, don't you think, boys?
Oh,
It'd be hard not to.
Oh, my God.
27 of the last 30 is remarkable, and they're making moves, too.
Hey, I'm gonna throw a little bone to Ray Kennedy. He sent me a text today. He said, "What we need to do, since we have Shipyard and Sea Dogs up in Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, and in fact, we had a great show projected for this past Thursday, which was an interaction of both on the tee, Florida, and both states." He said, "We need to get a rivalry going with those guys because we have had a couple of managers on, Sox, Rays, Red Sox, Rays." Yeah. And he said there really isn't a real hated rivalry for anybody if you take a look at history with the Rays. Would you agree?
absolutely. And that's one thing that's interesting when you look at the Rays.
We need to create it.
The Rays schedule the rest of the way. Coming down the stretch in September, they do have the 3 games against the Red Sox right there at the end of the season.
Is that home or away?
Dog days of summer, and that's home. Yep.
Yeah. I would venture to say, though, I do think the Yankees are a rival.
Yes.
I definitely think the Yankees are a rival, especially when CC Sabathia was throwing it.
Good point.
Was throwing at Rays. It got pretty tense there. Every game had some kind of kerfuffle going on.
Some kind of what?
Kerfuffle.
I knew that's what you said, but would you tell our audience?
Donnybrook.
Would you tell our audience, Mr. Author, what that means?
Well, it's a 17th century term.
Oh yeah, I should have known that. What the? You and Ben, the historians here.
Yeah,
Well,
they
you're a
didn't have
historian too.
They didn't have that kind of language at Florida Southern. I'll tell you that.
Well, I went to Florida State, so
Darn right.
an English major.
Kerfuffle?
Kerfuffle.
I'll start using that in my.
It's like a Donnybrook,
A rhubarb.
A rhubarb, yeah.
I know what a Donnybrook is.
A slobber knocker,
Well, I've been in a few of those.
Boy,
What do you think happened to my brain?
I saw the best one of those the other day. I was looking at the 70s baseball website, and they had Lou Piniella coming around. Otto Velez hit a little duck into right field, and it was a bang-bang play at the plate. And lo and behold, Lou Piniella just levels into Carlton Fisk at home. And it just explodes out of and then it just keeps going. And Billy Martin is manager of the Yankees there.
Yeah,
and
he's instigating it.
He is indeed. He's sniffing around there. Oh, how can I get
Looking
in?
for
puppet master.
Yeah.
He's looking for a whack.
I always wonder though with the bench clearing process, what is their end result if it's not ever broken up? Are they really trying to hurt somebody?
Hell yeah, back in the day.
I don't understand it. Like, I think they should be banned. I am on the.
Well, there aren't very many anymore.
No, well,
I'm a big fan
I
of
think
them.
if you leave the dugout and you leave the bullpen, you should face a suspension, like a 3 to 5 game suspension.
Nah.
Because basketball did it, hockey did it. No other sport has as many.
Well, look how soft basketball is, though, for cripe's sake.
But back in the 90s, guys used to leave the bench and stuff.
Oh, you're talking the
And they
Detroit
let
Piston
they
era.
let them still play. I like that with baseball. Let them keep playing. A guy's got to let off a little steam sometimes.
I am vehemently
Nolan
against
Ryan.
bench clearing brawl.
No, Nolan Ryan getting up there, putting a guy in a headlock.
But they're
Come
both on the field. Ventura charged the mound. Yeah. They battled it out. And look, you end up with a bloody nose, you end up with a bloody nose. But it's when the bullpen guys all jog out of the same door.
Yeah, because
You can't look like a pussy. You got to
rep,
look like you're part of the team. You're ready to take
You got to
one.
rep your boys.
Why don't they just fight in the outfield then?
No, that's not how it works.
It's the silliest
I've been
thing.
in a benches clearing thing one time at Savannah State. We were out there and I think we were playing FAMU. I think that's who we were playing. We ended up beating them that game, and the whole game was a little, ticky-tacky.
Right.
Why were you on the
Were
were you on the mound throwing at people?
I was sitting on the bench hooting and hollering a little bit, giving them a hard time. But we end up winning on a walk-off. No, it was Bethune-Cookman. That's who we were playing. It was Bethune-Cookman. We ended up winning on a walk-off, and their guys came out on the field after we won and started, chirping us. So we went out on the field, and you best believe I came out of the bullpen, and I was backing up my buddies.
Were you the only white guy out there in the middle of this?
No, there was 10 of us on the team.
Little scrum.
Like we were out there, and guys are, throwing up signs and yelling at each other, and I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, but it's unnecessary. I mean, all the way back from, Johnny Rosenborough and Juan Marichal hitting each other in the head with a bat.
Juan was a maniac.
Yeah, but there's somebody is seriously going to get hurt in
Okay.
a baseball brawl.
Good.
And then baseball is going to put the kibosh on it. I guarantee. These bench clearing brawls have been going on since the 50s. I mean, I'm sure even before that.
Then.
Yeah, before.
Even before that. I mean, Ty Cobb was spiking people and the whole teams would come out.
Hey, now that's fake news. I gotta call it out there because Mr. Ty Cobb, that book written about him was
Oh, the Al
ruled-
Stump book is trash.
Yeah, the Al Stump book, a majority of it has been deemed, not very true, especially when you talk about the racism at the time. Yeah, Ty Cobb was probably a racist by today's standards, but he had he signed a baseball with Satchel Paige, and he was one of the biggest proponents of the Negro Leagues and saying, like, if they're good enough, let them come in. So I'm going to push back on the
All right,
Ty
so
Cobb
other
fighting people.
players.
Hey, we'll continue this baseball conversation, but right now we got our own Pinellas County and Hillsborough County royalty, and that is, across the state. Cripes, he was born in Miami, and he went to school at Florida State. He's Barry Smith, and he's kind enough to take some time out with us today. Last week we had Randy Grimes talking about back in the day. Barry happened to come in and let me have it with his opinion of summer camp these days. So I thought, what the heck, why not have him on? As I mentioned in the opening, he is from Miami, played at Florida State, had a wonderful career, and then he was drafted by the Green Bay Packers, my Green Bay Packers, a #1 draft pick. And in the 1976 expansion opportunity came, and he had his hand up, I'm sure way before everybody else, and he's Barry Smith. How are you, brother?
Mike, I'm doing pretty good. As I tell everybody, if I was doing it, they'd throw my ass in jail.
Well, one of the topics I really wanted to touch upon was 1976. Your first year in expansion.
50 years.
Yeah, 50 years ago, and to this day, the guys, the players that are remaining, all have incredible bonds. I witnessed it. I've been at your alumni association, NFL alumni association events, and seen you guys together, whether it's on the golf course or an event. I've seen you guys. I look at your Facebook, and you have these guys come up, and you guys are playing golf. You formed a bond, even though you were winless. I mean, winless teams don't usually have that kind of chemistry, that kind of cement from because your accomplishments were minimal. Talk a little bit about that, because I think it's one of the coolest stories.
Well, Mike, I think, sometimes adversity, it's either going to bust you up or it's going to bring you together. And so I think all of us back then in 1976, it was a unique situation. Really was kind of a new thing, really, in the NFL, how they did the expansion drafts back then. Probably not for the best, but and some of the things that we went through being part of this new franchise here in Tampa with the new head coach that had never coached in the NFL, come from college, certainly very successful. But I think, being together, we had a lot to overcome. We had 10 weeks of 2-a-day practices, 10 weeks of 2-a-day practices in pads. That's unheard of. Nobody does that. And certainly nowadays, I mean, it's, they very rarely even hit, whether they have 1 or 2 preseason games, or they don't, and they have days off and whatever. But, our group, we really all love one another. We circled the wagon. I credit, Steve Spurrier, who was, a vet at that time, 11, 12 years in the league by the time he came here. We just, I don't know. I just think, we just all love one another. We went through a lot. We realized certainly we were embarrassed, but it wasn't for lack of talent or trying. It was just that sometimes, shit happens, and it happened to us. Fortunately, the Detroit Lions took that winless season, the longest winless season, off our backs because we were 16. I think they went 0-8, something like that. So we no longer have to carry that flag, and we were all thrilled when the Bucs won their first championship. The Super Bowl, because as I tell everybody, we went from the outhouse to the penthouse, and we're all part of the Buccaneer family, good, bad, or indifferent.
You sent me a cool picture yesterday, and that's you on one side, Steve Spurrier on the other side, and then John McKay in the middle. And you would have thought, when you look at the talent on that team, that you could have eked out a win here or there. Were you guys supportive of John McKay? Did you like his coaching style?
Well, it's kind of funny that, put it this way, there's a lot of different opinions in there. I think all of the players on the team that had played for him at USC loved him. And there's probably some of us that didn't play for him out there didn't feel quite the same way. What was funny about that picture, both Steve Spurrier and I were at the end of the season. Okay, at the end of the season, there was a guy named Jim Selman had written an article, kind of a review of the season with John McKay, and his spin on what happened through the 76 season. And so Jim Selman, God rest his soul, had called me and called Spurrier, a couple other guys were in that article, or mentioned in that article, and he gave us a chance to rebut, I guess you would call it, rebut for some of the comments McKay had made. So we kind of told our side of the story from our perspective, and within 24 hours, both Steve and I were traded. So you take it from there. So it's kind of picture
Barry,
because, I on each side of Coach McKay.
Barry, Kip here. Taking a look at that team and changing the culture from a losing culture into a winning culture. What did a player like Leroy Selman mean to change that culture for the organization as you viewed it?
Well, certainly Leroy, when he can, we knew he was, he's the number 1 draft choice, the first pick in, franchise history, and the rest is history because he went on to a Hall of Fame career. But if you remember, Leroy didn't make it all the way through the season. He got injured, and so we didn't really get a chance to see everything that he would wind up accomplishing, the impact that he would have. But he was a leader in the clubhouse. There's no doubt about that. But we had a lot of guys with great experiences that were veterans from other teams that were winning teams. It was probably just, I a number of factors.
Barry, how'd you feel about wearing the creamsicle uniforms? What was the thought process there? I mean, that's certainly what that first team. One of the things that they were known for was the crazy orange uniform.
I thought they're god awful.
What?
They didn't represent football.
Oh, come on. It
They
represents
were ice
Florida.
cream.
Hey, I think that I just disappeared here. I'm not. There we go. Okay.
We got you.
What is that? Okay. Am I back on or not?
You're on, brother.
Talk about the creamsicle uniforms and wearing the orange uniforms going up against the purple people eaters when you're the creamsicles.
Well, obviously I love the creamsicle because, it means a lot to me. And I think there's certainly a lot of fans still love that creamsicle. And, a number of people say they hate the creamsicle because, they equate it to a losing season. You look at the Miami Dolphins and they have that aqua blue. Well, what the hell is the difference between the aqua blue and the creamsicle? They're all kind of interesting colors. But fortunately, they had a guy named Shula that won pretty quick and won Super Bowls. And so it has a different connotation. But Tony Dungy, don't forget, Tony Dungy came in and really turned everything around, at least the mindset, and really turned the program into winners. But I don't want to shortchange Coach McKay and the staff, because remember 1979, was it? I guess 79. Yeah. The Bucs were, a game away, a touchdown away, a few points away from going to the Super Bowl or with the NFC Championship. So that wasn't bad. But they should never have gotten rid of Doug Williams. That's what I think, spun the franchise down the drain when they got rid of Doug Williams, because there was no doubt the team rallied around a Doug Williams, and until Tony Dungy came in and brought in Derek Brooks and Warwick Dunn and guys like that, it was a whole different deal.
We're talking to Barry Smith, and you're watching on our YouTube channel. It's the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection. Give us a like, and what else do I need to do, Ben? Smash
the like button, hit the bell, so that way you get notified whenever we come on live.
And we got all kinds of content. We keep expanding it on our Instagram, thanks to Adam Fernandez and all the hard work that he and Tristan are doing, and Teddy, of course, on our golf side. And hey, I was talking about it on the intro. You must play more golf than any retired guy in his close to mid 70s that I have ever seen or heard of. Oh, we lost him. You'll have to take my word for it. he in fact, you've met Charlie Breakiron down at Sea Dogs.
Absolutely.
Charlie played at Ohio State. This is typical Barry. I take Barry to lunch there and having a great time, introduced him to Charlie. Well, Charlie's a hell of a stick, playing Ohio State. And Barry, knowing that his guys are all in their 70s, recruited him, and he's won a lot more than he would have without Charlie. And actually, Charlie got a hole-in-one in their NFL alumni event 2 years ago, and it was Charlie's birthday.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
What a birthday. We got to hear some more, though, from Barry. I mean, I want to hear about Jimmy Giles and catching passes from Doug Williams and the Jerry Eckwoods and the Ricky Bells of the day, and they really did have a good offense.
There he is. Hey, that's one thing. We talked to Randy Grimes last week, Barry, and you look at some of the quarterbacks you guys have had in that organization. Steve Young, Vinny Testaverde, as you said, Doug Williams. I mean, there's no reason there wasn't winning earlier than it happened.
Well, to the offensive mindset, unfortunately, I think some of the coaching staffs they had defensively over the years, the Bucs have been pretty decent. It's just they've had the offensive production has been the problem, and I think it's the type of football, if you want to say, the brain trust maybe wasn't doing the job. Okay, and don't forget, you got to be able to evaluate personnel, and I think sometimes the coaches were trying to put the square peg in the round hole. One thing Don Shula did, he was able to adjust every year, based on the talent that he had. Either they were maybe running the ball more or they were throwing the ball more, depending upon the talent they had.
When you come out of camp, and you've come out of camp in Tampa, Florida, and you're playing a team like the Raiders or the 49ers that have come out of camp in a cooler Bay Area, does that play into it as you get into the fourth quarter there? Is there something to be said in September games that you can wear teams down?
Well, I would certainly think so, because, conditioning, I mean, heat is a killer. Cold weather, freezing weather is a whole different thing. Okay. But there's no problem playing in chilly weather and all that. But the heat that we have here in Tampa, I always thought it was always a positive factor for the for us, the Dolphins, Jaguars, playing those early games here in the state of Florida. Absolutely.
Well, I think a lot of people,
and also, hey, the other thing is talent. Come on.
Well, I think a lot of people forget that you actually were on your way to the Miami Dolphins, a return home, which would have been glorious for you. But due to some illness issues, your career had to wind down early. But can you imagine? You would have been with the boys. I mean, Bob Greasy and Zonka and Paul Warfield and Jim. I mean, about 11 Hall of Famers, and then of course the great Don Shula. That had to have been extremely disappointing for you. And you never shared that with me. It was your lovely bride that told me that when we were having dinner at Bo and Mo's. And that was that would have been a heck of a story. And your father was still alive then, wasn't he?
Well, Mike, absolutely. In 1977, when I was traded to the Miami Dolphins and, reported to camp, one of the things that Shula had shared with two.
Yeah, there's no telling what Don Shula would have shared with him. I mean, that's a 300-win NFL coach, and to know what Shula was going through his mind after a perfect season is certainly interesting thoughts for a guy coming over from another organization.
Barry, can you hear us, Barry?
Right. I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I can hear you. Snafus here, but I can hear you guys fine. I'm looking at you. He also stuck number 85 on me because Nick Bonacani had just retired. And so he said, you have a lot to fill, big shoes to fill between Art Twilley and Nick Bonacani. And I will say that obviously I was thrilled to be with the Miami Dolphins, a winning franchise. I'd been in 1966 as a 15-year-old. I was in the stadium, the Orange Bowl, when Joe Auer returned the opening kickoff for the Miami Dolphins, 95 yards, to kind of start that franchise history. And so, I was thrilled to be with a Miami Dolphin. Unfortunately, during the preseason, I had contracted a polio virus and lost 30 pounds of muscle in 3 weeks. And unfortunately, back then, I was weighing 185 pounds. In 3 weeks, I was 155 pounds and had lost it all. I mean, I had to learn how to walk all over again. So my career came to an end, and that was the end of that. But hey, I was a Miami Dolphin for a while. Okay, and not have to get a big paycheck or add another year to my pension or have a chance for a winning season, but I'm still very. You know what? I consider myself very fortunate. Had a nice career. Got to play in the NFL. Played with some wonderful players. They had some great teammates, great memories, and and I love being in Tampa. It's a great place. I love, the Buccaneers now have a wonderful franchise, and they're doing so much in the community. And I love giving back because that's what it's all about.
By the way, I got to interrupt this conversation because you're the one that introduced me to this cat, John Rager. Of course, he is the chair-elect now of the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. He's my wingman on the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection, and on the tee golf production. And he just sent me a text. I was talking about Charlie Breakiron, how I introduced you to him, and he's been carrying your golf outings. And it was the Florida Sports Hall of Fame golf tournament, not the NFL alumni tournament that I unfortunately misrepresented. Rager's listening, and of course he's my editor.
Well, let me tell you what. There's not a better guy in the world than John. He comes from a wonderful family. I met him, back in 1980 when I kind of relocated back to Tampa. And, his dad, John Rieger Sr., was a stud. He was nicknamed the Missile. He played the Steelers and Redskins, 3-time All-Pro, and was a real badass. But there's not a better guy in the world than John Rieger Jr. He's a dear friend. And Charlie Breakiron, we just had lunch over there, Marianne and I, last week with my granddaughter. Took her granddaughter over there. Had a
Man, she's growing, brother.
Charlie,
she is growing.
His birthday, 50th birthday. Yeah, think about this. His birthday, he turns 50. He makes a hole-in-one his first time ever, and he's a golfer. Was on the Ohio State golf team and helped win our tournament that we played in. So it was pretty damn cool.
Well, think about this. He just turned 50, and he's got 3 sons under 6 years old. My 3 sons. I said, Charlie, you're the man.
Well, he is. He said he was a stud, so there's no doubt about that.
Exactly. Hey, we'll let you go after this, but let's compare. As you were very adamant before you left here last Saturday, your opinion on summer camp in 2026 versus 1976.
Think about 50 years, okay? 50 years. Every year they usually have, I go out to a practice or two every year, watch the Bucks practice and all that. And of course, over the years it has changed, but now I first of all, they're all great athletes. There's no doubt about it. Tremendous talent, and all that. But I'll go to a practice and I off because I see how easy the practices are. They barely hit. They're in uppers. They don't scrimmage a whole lot. They don't really have practices back to back. There are no 2-a-days. They have water breaks anytime they want.
Hydration breaks.
And of course, they're making a ton of money. But it's God bless them. I'm just envious because I'd love to be playing now and making all that money and not worried about coming back. When we played, you're coming across the middle, you're going to get your head taken off. Now it's illegal to take anybody's head off, but it was fair game back then.
Hey, share the story of you going across the middle, and I can't remember who the quarterback was, but he set you up, destroyed your helmet, sent you to the sidelines, and you still went back in the game.
Well, that was the 74. Yeah, the 74 season. I was with the Packers, and John Hadel was the quarterback. We had picked him up in the middle of the season, and we're playing the Skins. Okay, we're playing the Redskins. Let's just say he called a crossing pattern, hung me out to dry, and rearranged my face. Came across, the face with his forearm, busted my nose, the helmet, the face bar. But the good thing about it, I held on to the ball for a first down. And so I'm very proud of that. I was knocked out, can't put it down. Yeah, doctor read my nose, took a Tampax, cut it in half, shoved it up my nostrils to stop the bleeding, and then they gave me a new helmet, and I was back the next series playing. There was no such thing as concussion protocols.
The good old days.
You said hand the ball off to MacArthur Lane and John Brockington, and don't throw the ball over the middle anymore to me.
Hey, let me tell you, those two guys, Brockington and MacArthur Lane, two great human beings. Unfortunately, MacArthur Lane's not with us anymore. And I think, you know what, trying to keep is John passed away.
Yeah, Brockington passed away. I
don't know. I'm crazy.
Yeah, they sure were remarkable.
There was
a
thing about John Brockington.
Yeah, I think they both ran for 1,000 yards in the one season.
Yeah. Hey, my man, we're going to let you go.
That is correct.
Last week, you gave me some breaking news.
Love being on your program. Best to you guys.
Did we run you out of St. Pete? Is that why you're moving back to Tampa?
My grandkids. We moved over here from Tampa. My son was not married. We had no grandkids. Now we have 2 grandkids, and my wife and I want to be a lot closer to the grandkids because I love them dearly, and it's just a blast.
Well,
hanging with them through, and they keep you young.
That's right, brother. All right, he's the great Barry Smith, kind enough to join us. I'm sure I'll get critiqued by Rager after the show. Any other errors I made. But thanks, Barry. Talk to you soon, and we'll get together over at Sea Dogs, my man.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Barry Smith. I tell you what, that guy, I met him in 2017 here. And I was working for Mark. I was kind of a assistant manager, helping out during baseball season. And I didn't know him from Adam. And he was so kind to me, gave me a Florida Sports Hall of Fame hat, and said, "Why don't you come to one of our events?" I'm like, well, "Who the hell am I?" He goes, "Well, you're a friend of Ferg's." That guy has lined up more interviews for me, lined up connections, got me involved in the NFL alumni. I still pay my dues, the Tampa chapter, and have been invited to everything. Florida Sports Hall of Fame when he was inducted 3 years ago. I'm sure John will correct that because I think it might have been, I think it was 3 years ago now. And that was over at Ray J. We did a show.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
You were with me.
Yeah, that was a damn good time, Mike.
We wore suits.
Yeah, we look good.
Well, you did. You're young.
I mean, hey, we both
had some
good.
great guests. It was.
Yeah, Vinny LeCavier, I think, was there. I got to wear his Stanley Cup ring.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I still got it up on my Instagram.
That was a great class, by the way. That was a great class. Mm-hmm. Pam, what's her name?
Oliver, Pam Oliver.
Pam Oliver.
Yeah.
She went to, I think she went to FAMU.
Yeah, I talked to her a little bit about that, and she wasn't as friendly as I hoped she was going to be.
No, she wasn't. But I've heard that about her too.
I took a few classes at FAMU's journalism program because Florida State didn't have a journalism program at the time, and so they shared programs. They made a huge deal of Pam Oliver.
That she was an alum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this was about 20. I'm just gonna say 20 plus years ago. So she was definitely. I mean, she's still doing her thing, but she was the pride of the program at that point.
Mm-hmm. Let me thank some of our sponsors, of course, Body Armor, Coca-Cola, and as I said last week, Monster beverages. But this, I'm anticipating a huge delivery for everybody. These guys keep bugging me. I buy these at the store because I'm on empty. But Body Armor, coconut water. Great product, and then if you are dragging a little bit, grab yourself a Monster.
Hell yeah!
I talked about it last week. That Monster, when you drink it,
feel the beast, baby.
Exactly.
I've never done them. I've never done one of the.
You sound like I've never done it.
You know,
like it's a bad drug. I've never done Monster.
The white Monsters, don't push them on me.
The white Monster is the official drink at teachers. I'll tell you what, it's either white Monster or it's coffee, and it's pretty split down the middle. But it flows through their veins.
It sounds like you need that Monster as school start. God bless you, my man.
I feel like bartenders as well. Bartenders are also people that down those energy drinks.
Especially about 10 o'clock when they got a shift till 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
We're also brought to you by Ice Pick Vodka. Come down and get yourself a Tampa Bay. There'll be plenty of sports to watch. Of course, the Rays, nice 2-1 win last night, Kip. I'm sure you didn't stay up to watch it.
I actually saw it. I fell asleep, saw the end of the game, and lo and behold.
You saw the end of it?
Lo and behold, I knew it was a quick one because they had already gone into that come back and follow up and watch the game the next night. So,
exactly.
So I knew Raz had a good game, and certainly did. He had a monster start, and that's what the Rays need.
Monster start. Good segue to our sponsor. Nicely done.
Freddie Peralta is going to help out a lot for that staff too. I don't know if you like him or a lot, but I
like
know
him.
with him at Milwaukee.
I think we made some good pickups.
Yeah.
You know, going into this, Gavin Lux we picked up too.
From over the offseason, he just hasn't played for us yet.
Or I thought we picked him up.
Was that
No
the trade deadline?
Trade deadline.
He was
Okay.
he was over the,
Hey, let's get
off-season.
Peter Gollin back over here. Becking him on.
Let's get Peter set up.
Sit right next to Michael Lords there, Peter. Peter Gollenbach's if we're going to talk baseball,
I want to learn something. Bring Pete in.
We better have the Godfather here. We're also brought to you by our great friends, of course, at, as I said, Body Armor, Coca-Cola, and Monster, and Shipyard Sports. We're going to expand it a lot. I've got some ideas, as I mentioned, coming on the air. We need to get Rays Red Sox. Get something going the rest of the season. Get the guys up there, the Red Sox fans, commenting. I got to have Ben on his A game, firing back at him, and then I'll need you guys with plenty of facts. But it's gonna be a great finish in the East when you take a look at, as you said, the Yankees aren't out of this. Everybody, there's not a lot of conversation about the Yankees right now because people are amazed at the Rays, and then what the Red Sox have done has been phenomenal.
So, Peter, in the first segment, we were talking about baseball brawls, and the one that came to mind was out of Velez. I think it's like 76. It's a little bloop single to right, and Lou Piniella is chugging around third, and he just levels into Carlton Fisk, and it all broke out at that time. And Bill Lee, I think, you remember that one?
Bill Lee ended up getting hurt. Oh, I certainly do. The game has changed. I mean, if you remember Pete Rose at the All-Star game, sliding into the Cleveland catcher and ending his career.
Ray Fosse, wasn't it?
Ray Fosse. It was, yes. Somehow they decided they didn't want that happening anymore, and I'm kind of glad they did. Yeah. So the catcher is not allowed to stand on home plate while he makes the tag. He's got to give the runner the way.
Probably one of the better, smarter decisions that baseball's made over the last 10 years.
Well,
you don't miss the collisions?
What's that?
You don't miss the collisions at home plate?
No, I don't.
How about second base?
Leg, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was covering home plate wrong. It's about skill and about how you cover the plate. You know, that's his own fault that he got taken out there.
Well, the thing about Buster Posey is he used to be a shortstop in college. So he was actually covering the base like a shortstop. If you watch where his leg is.
Why do you think he got clobbered?
Yeah.
And that's nobody's fault but his own. I like the collisions at second. I like the collisions at home plate. I think it adds, it adds that bravado, that, machismo kind of energy to the game that I think the game's lacking a little bit right now.
Right now, there's so many people on the IL.
Well, yes, you're not wrong.
Unbelievable. I mean, I have a rotisserie team, and
that's fantasy league for you youngsters out there.
Six of my hitters are on the ILDL, and it's just driving me crazy.
Now, in your rotisserie, can you pick somebody else up?
Oh, you can, but they all stink. You can pick up a guy with a 148 batting average for sure, or a guy who's had 2 home runs and 55 at bats. Yeah, you can do that. Sure.
Well, Peter, we haven't had you on. I want your opinion of this Rays team to this point in the season, and the same with you, Kip, because we haven't had you on to talk a little baseball.
Well, they almost had their 6th shutout in 10 games. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many teams do that? I mean, there are 2 things going on right now that are just absolutely amazing. And the Rays are one of them, though nobody's paying attention to the Rays because the Rays are in Tampa Bay and nobody else cares. Aside from that, You've got the Boston Red Sox that are something like 36-3, something like that.
It's an all-time record.
Oh my goodness, what has happened to those guys? They have somehow come alive. They're now either tied or a half a game behind the Yankees, which are falling like a rock. The poor Yankee fans are just going crazy. They want to get rid of Aaron Boone. They want to get rid of the general manager. They want to get rid of Hal Steinbrenner. They want George back, which is fairly weird.
I know somebody on this panel that doesn't want George back.
Well, he's not going to get George back.
Cloning, right? I mean, there's some scientific breakthroughs.
Yes, AI. The Yankees need AI to get George back.
Did they Ted Williams him, you think?
Yeah, actually, an AI George Steinbrenner would be amazing. I think a lot of Yankee fans would agree that makes better decisions than Hal and Brian Cashman.
No, please.
From the Yankee fans' perspective.
Please.
Don't try to promote George Steinbrenner to the guy to your left.
Aaron Judge out, and you got poor Stanton out. Stanton's one of the 6 on my rotisserie team.
Oh wow!
I mean, gee whiz. And then you got Bellinger out, and you just don't score any runs. I mean, the interesting thing about the Rays is they don't score any runs. I mean, you get beyond the first 3 guys, and that lineup is despicable. But with that pitching that they have, I mean, I've literally never seen a team that has pitching like that. Then they got a new guy.
Wells.
No.
Freddie Peralta.
No, Peralta.
Yeah.
Who only gave up 7 runs in his first 3 1/3 innings, which is not exactly the way the Rays want him. On the other hand, the Rays have this history where they take these pitchers who, I mean, last year Peralta, I think, won 17 games. And now this year he's not very good, and he's coming over to a Rays pitching staff, which somehow, I mean, these are the most, I mean, the thing I can't understand is why a team that has crappy pitching doesn't take our pitching coaches, pay them $3 million a year and wrest them away from us and restore their pitching.
No doubt. And I thought Peter Fairbanks going away was a loss. This Baker, he's in the game, and it's lights out there.
Well,
leading the American League in saves.
The funny thing
Peter.
about Baker, going back to my rotisserie league, is I saw Baker pitch in the spring, and I said to myself, this guy is going to be a star. So I said to my partner, as we were bidding for players, make sure that there's room that we can pick up this guy Baker. And by the time we got to this guy Baker, somebody else had more money than I had, and we didn't get him. And so our reliever has 12 saves, and their reliever has Baker, and he's got 32.
And leading the league.
Oh, my goodness. This guy is a star. And again, like so many of the Rays pitchers, he came out of frickin' nowhere. Yep. I mean, you don't know where we got him.
It was a Baltimore middle reliever, wasn't he? I
have no idea. I mean, I don't know where we got Martinez, who may be the best pitcher in baseball right now. Yep. What is he, 8-2? And he could very well be 11-2 if we hit it all.
And it just shows that spring training means nothing, because he got lit up in spring training, and I was like, well, this guy's not going to fit into this rotation. Yeah. And like you said, he's been one of the most dominant pitchers. But they all have been great. That starting rotation is wonderful.
Rasmussen last night. I mean, Rasmussen is interesting because he's from the Seattle area. So he had 100 of his friends and family come to see him pitch yesterday. And my gosh, he gave up 2 hits in 7 innings. I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, these pitchers are very well may take this team to the World Series. But with the hitting we have, I mean, they picked up this guy Hahn, this catcher, who actually caught last night. He caught Rasmussen's 2-hitter. So this guy must be a pretty damn good catcher as well.
And he can hit the ball.
As well as a better hitter than any lefty catcher that we've had in 20 years.
And he has like 2 more years left on his contract, which is the all important thing for the Rays.
Well,
he's got team control.
Our general manager, he's an analytics guy, and a lot of people hate analytics.
What are you laughing about, Ben?
It's amazing. I'm doing a book right now with Sandy Alderson, who was the guy who invented analytics.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you are?
Oh, I am, and it's absolutely fascinating how analytics has taken over baseball, and everybody hates its friggin' guts.
And small markets at Oakland.
Small markets now can compete with the big markets because of analytics.
Hey, you hear that, Ben Botham?
Well,
No.
I appreciate analytics for
No,
what
you
it's.
don't.
Well,
no,
okay.
you don't.
No,
I mean, Bill James is a friggin' genius. He figured out how this game should be played, and everybody, the old school of baseball, hates his friggin' guts because of it.
Well,
they still do. On base percentage, what the hell is that? WAR, what the hell is that?
Well, WAR is a made-up statistic.
Yeah, they're all made-up statistics, but they have a purpose.
What do you think, though, about the in-game feel where, a manager has to make a decision based on his gut? And I feel like analytics is kind of taken away from that and some of the magic of baseball.
What analytics has done is taken these mediocre teams and made them winners. Mm-hmm. Analytics has made the Rays to the point where they have the third best record in baseball over the last 10 years, which is just astounding because the Yankees have a salary of $400 million and the Rays have a salary of about 85 cents. And we have 4.5 game lead over everybody. It's just amazing.
But that's what the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers took Friedman.
Hey, they're in the tank right now.
The Dodgers do both. The Dodgers do both. I mean, if you had to bet who was going to get the Tigers' star pitcher?
Oh, it was the Dodgers. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
Skubal.
Yeah. If you had to bet who was going to get Skubal, did you think the Rays were going to get him?
Well, if the Mets were having a better year, the Mets would have been in that conversation.
Well, the Mets, unfortunately, don't know what the hell they're doing.
No, the Mets are so mismanaged and always they walk into some great seasons along the way.
Well, they were managed well when Sandy Alderson was managing them. That's the funny thing. They went to the World Series.
Yeah,
let me just say that he had a fight with Cohn, who owns the team. Cohn fired his son from the scouting staff and then believed that Sandy held it against him and fired him because the two of them couldn't get along. And as soon as Sandy went away, the team's winning went away. I mean, they've got all these star players and they're, 15 games under 500. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking getting rid of Pete Alonso,
I don't
Jeff
know.
McNeil. They just,
right.
They destroyed the chemistry on their team.
I still think that Skubal deal was rancid, man. It doesn't smell right. Something's not right with it. I think that's the owners trying to get this salary cap put in place. There's no doubt in my mind that that they had something to do with that. That they're trying to push their agenda to try and cap it.
Conspiracy theory.
I'm bought into it. I'm bought into it.
That's why I love this panel.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist on something.
Jack
but not
Kennedy
that.
was killed by the CIA. Come on, let's not go crazy here.
No, I do, and you probably will poo-poo this conspiracy theory as well. But I believe in the '90s, coming out of the strike, that Bud Selig told George Steinbrenner, "Open up your wallet and make the Yankees relevant again," and that brought baseball back.
No,
that's my conspiracy theory.
That's not what happened. What happened was that George Steinbrenner got suspended from baseball for 2 years because he was paying some guy for dirt on Dave Winfield.
Right.
And then because he was away for those 2 years, he couldn't trade away the young kids like Derek Jeter, like
Bernie Posada,
Mariano Rivera.
Posada, keep going.
Rivera.
There were five of them. Andy Pettit.
Yep.
George would have gotten rid of all those guys, but he wasn't around. He wasn't allowed to. And Stick Michael, who was the general manager at the time, put them all into the Yankee roster, and they ended up winning, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2000, something like that. This wasn't George Steinbrenner's doing, believe me.
Gene Michael's nickname was Stick?
Stick. Yeah,
like
Stick
that.
Michael. He was skinny.
I'm sure you knew that.
I did. But the one thing I'm interested in, haven't been together with you, and I've never really had you talk about Thurman Munson, and it's a beautiful day to do it because today, back in 1969, was Thurman Munson's first game. He comes as a number 4.
He's a stud.
Another 4 draft pick in 68, and they bring him up on August 8th of 1969.
That's why we have this factoid guy.
So a little bit about Thurman Munson, if you would, Peter.
Thurman Munson was the heart and soul of that Yankee baseball team. And it all started when George Steinbrenner bought Reggie Jackson over to the Yankees.
From my beloved
He was a
A's.
free agent, if you remember, the Seitz decision, which got rid of the reserve clause so that players could be free. And because of Marvin Miller, those players who had 6 years of action in the majors were become free agents. Reggie was one of them, and George bought Reggie. Reggie comes over, and the first thing he does is he has an interview with Pat Jordan in Sport Magazine, and he says, "I'm the straw that stirs the drink," and of course he's jealous as hell as Thurman, because Thurman was the heart of the team. He says, "And Thurman Munson can only stir it bad." So this article.
Reggie said that?
Yes, he did. And so this article in Sport Magazine comes out about June 1st, and every player on the team is holding this magazine, seeing what Reggie is saying about Thurman Munson. There was nobody on that Yankee team who wanted anything to do with Reggie, which was interesting because Reggie was a star. Reggie was a home run hitter, and because of Reggie, the Yankees won a bunch of pennants. But they hated his friggin' guts. They absolutely hated him because they all loved Thurman Munson. In the Bronx Zoo that I wrote with Sparky Lyle, one of the greatest stories was the joke that they played on Thurman Munson. Thurman had a gun and he wanted a holster. So he orders this holster and he puts down 34 inches for his waist. So Sparky and the boys go get the letter and open it up and change 34 inches to 55 inches and put it back in the envelope. Well, the thing comes in and Thurman tries it on and it's way, way, way too big. And he's swearing and he's pissed and he says, "Oh, gosh." And so he changes it back to 34, puts it back in the envelope. And what does Sparky and the boys do? They open the thing again and make it 15 inches. So 2 weeks later, the thing comes in and it's 15 inches. And Thurman was ready to kill somebody.
Hey, was there that much animosity towards? Because I remember growing up. I mean, my grandfather was a Yankees fan, and he living in Iowa. You know, they had the Twinkies,
Yeah.
and they really didn't have the Royals then, or you got Chicago teams. I mean, that's what you grabbed, or St. Louis Cardinals, as you're well aware. I was kind of split. North, you go to Cubs. South, you go St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
But so I followed the Yankees closely. Was it '77? When Reggie had 3 home runs in the World
Absolutely.
Series.
I was at that game.
Were you?
It was 3 pitches. Mm-hmm. It was 3 pitches off of 3 different three different pitchers, and by gosh, he did. And that's how he became Mr. October, of course. But he was still. You never knew on any given day which Reggie Jackson was going to show up. He had a personality where he could be as nice as could be. And again, he had that personality where he could just be, harmful.
As evidenced in that time period, Billy Martin has to yank him off the out of right field, right?
Right. And I'm not sure Billy did it because Reggie really did anything that day. Supposedly he didn't hustle after a ball. But Billy absolutely hated his guts. Billy wanted from the A's the left fielder, the right-handed hitter left fielder. They had lefties. They had Chambliss.
Joe Rudy?
Joe Rudy. They wanted Joe Rudy. Billy wanted Joe Rudy.
Another Oakland A.
Another Oakland A. But George wanted fans. George wanted fame. George wanted Reggie Jackson for Oakland had been a superstar. And George wanted the stars. And so instead of taking Joe Rudy, which is what Billy pleaded with him to do, he took Reggie Jackson, who Billy absolutely hated his guts. Hated his guts for all the years. Billy got hired and fired and hired and fired and hired and fired. And throughout all that time, he and Jackson did not get along at all. But again, in baseball, it doesn't matter.
How did you and Billy Martin get along is the question.
Well, I did a book with Billy Martin.
I know.
So he and I got along for an entire year. I had written in my book, Dynasty, that Billy Martin was as important to the Yankees in the 50s as Mickey Mantle and Whitey Ford. And as a result of that sentence, Billy called me up and wanted to do his autobiography with me. It made my whole career if it hadn't been for that. And Billy Martin's agent had one other client, and that was Sparky Lyle, so I got to do the
You hit a home run there, Peter.
Oh, my goodness. It was
One sentence.
It was amazing. One sentence is what turned my entire life around.
One sentence, and then he put together 40 books of sentences.
Yeah, so Billy and I spent a whole year together. And
did you drink a lot?
No, he did not drink once. We went to bars and he drank club soda with a twist of lime. Wow. Now, why he wanted
What
a twist
the hell?
of lime, I never could figure out. But that's what he drank. And we sat and we talked and we wrote a really fabulous book, which really dumped on Steinbrenner something fierce, to the extent that when the thing came out, George demanded that 3 of the things he wrote about Billy, one of the things Billy said was that he was listening in on his phone to Billy's conversations. Billy was a little paranoid.
So was George.
Yeah, well, of course. And each of them wanted to be the guy. It's George Steinbrenner's Yankees. No, it's Billy Martin's Yankees. And of course, with Reggie, it was Reggie Jackson's Yankees. So you had that battle day after day after day. So George was very much like Trump. He wanted to be in the newspaper. He wanted his name in the newspaper every single day. And when he couldn't have that, he was very, very unhappy. But I'll tell you.
And then that carried on throughout to the Winfield years.
Oh, sure.
And the Mattingly years.
Oh, yeah.
And then
You talked about those trades with athletics. Is that kind of a holdover from the 50s when there was kind of that shady deal between the Athletics and the Yankees?
There was nothing shady about it. The owner of the Yankees was a close friend of the owner of the Kansas City Athletics.
Because it made it seem like they were almost a farm system in order to kind of
they
bolster them.
They were, and as a Yankee fan growing up in Stamford, Connecticut, I loved it.
Well,
I was really thrilled we got Roger Maris, thrilled we got Norm Seaburn. So we got all sorts of wonderful players from Kansas City, and we traded them, B+ players. We got A+, we got A players, they got B+ players.
Yeah, because it seemed like in Kansas City at the time, like they were kind of being screwed over by the Yankees and almost kind of forcing that move to Oakland.
Well, I would say that 29 fans of 29 teams certainly felt that way, but there were fans of one team who were thrilled to death.
Yeah, if you're a Yankee fan, you're having a good time.
You're watching the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection on our YouTube channel right now. Of course, also on Instagram, you'll see some great clips of this conversation. We've got Peter Gallant back in the house, Michael Loritz, and of course, baseball, Ben Botham, and Kip Engel, all great minds in the world of baseball. In my world, in Iowa, the Iowa Oaks were the farm club. You know this. You grew up in that area. For the Oakland A's. So all of us baseball junkies from Iowa would follow that process. Gene Tennis came through there, and Joe Rudy came through there. All of the teams that Charlie Finley put together. I think they had 3 World Series at that time.
You had 2 sets of Oakland great teams. You had the Charlie Finley team with Rudy and Jackson and some great Vida Blue and some great players.
I have a Vida Blue story I'll tell you sometime.
Okay, and then you had the Sandy Alderson team, which had Mark McGuire, they had Jose Canseco, they had Dave Henderson.
That was the Earthquake team.
The Earthquake team of 1989. Yeah.
And they had
Ricky Henderson, which the first thing he did when he got there was traded him away to the Yankees because he couldn't stand him. And then when he began to see just how valuable Ricky was, he traded back for him.
And I believe some of the same players came back. I think Stan Javier was part of that.
No, there's a story behind the trade back. And the trade back was that Sandy Alderson had no baseball experience whatsoever. He came because he was a close friend of Walter Haas's son-in-law. So that's why he came. The son-in-law was a lawyer at the same law firm that Sandy was. And so the son-in-law brought him along to the A's. And eventually Sandy became the general manager. And when it came time to trade Ricky Henderson, he looked in Baseball America, which listed the best prospects of all the teams. And looking in Baseball America, he found the names of 5 Yankee farm team guys. Jose Rio, there were 5 of them there. And so what Sandy did, which was unbelievable, he believed in what this guy was saying in Baseball America and asked the Yankees for those 5 guys, which is amazing when you know nothing about the game whatsoever, and started building the Oakland A's from there.
Here in hour number 2 of the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection, brought to you by Ferg's Sports Bar and Grill, America's #1 sports bar, as elected by last year, actually. At this same time, we started doing the voting, and with USA Today. And then, of course, as I mentioned, Body Armor, Coca-Cola. We will have a lot of conversation with Monster in front of these guys. We'll have to get you a Monster sometime, Peter. Give you a little.
No thanks.
I know. I tried my first one a couple weeks ago. Might be a little faster paced than a 70-year-old heart needs, but it was
27-year-old, I could take it.
It's tasty, though. I'll tell you that. I'll share my story real quick about Vita Blue and the Oakland A's.
Sure.
So I had a great aunt that lived in the Bay Area, and we were on a family vacation. You know, the station wagon, the whole deal. And we, you know, the old man and mom, they pop us in there, and we get out there, and it's when the Orioles were a dynasty of sorts too, and it was a doubleheader, and so they drop us off. Now you would never do this to kids. No, I was in the 8th grade. My brother was in the 7th. Drop us off. Doubleheader. I'm excited. I know I was a baseball geek. I've got all the cards of these guys, and so at the end, there was a specific light pole that we were supposed to be at. We got there. The folks were late. We're not freaking out. We're just sitting on the curb, and it was Boy Scout and Little League Day. It was packed. Well, most of us know we know the demographic of Oakland, so there weren't too many of us little white boys around. We're sitting there from Iowa, you know, and here comes this Eldorado convertible, blue, and Charlie Finley had bought it for his rookie, Vita Blue, who carried around 2 dimes in his pocket for 20 wins, and his plate said V Blue. Well, my brother didn't give a damn about baseball. I'm a nut. He's driving through the parking lot. Parking lot's pretty much empty. These kids over here to our right were local kids, and they're lost. They're crying. And I just start screaming and chasing them. Vita, Vita. And he does a U-turn. I look at my brother. He's coming back for me. Blows right by me and goes to those kids from the neighborhood, if you will. He's talking to them, and I'm crushed. Fast forward to 2009, and Iowa Cubs Fan Fest. And Vita Blue is signing autographs. And he's at my booth. I'd been at one of my son's games, and here's my family there. And Vita, I had a putting green, and you could win a T-shirt or something. And Vita's putting it. It's late at night. It's about 9 o'clock. We're just getting ready to shut down. And I walk up, and my wife goes, "This is Vita Blue." I go, "I know who he is." And I proceeded to tell him the story, and I said, "To this day, I hope you're signing autographs for people." I said, "I've been scarred by that forever." And he looked at me as half in the bag. The next morning, I get ready to do my 8 o'clock show, and he's there. He goes, "Dude, sorry about that." He goes, "You hold a grudge for a long time." I said, "Yeah, I certainly do." Yeah, and that's my Vita Blue story. But
wow.
Yeah.
Did you make peace with him though? Like,
oh yeah.
Shook his hand. Did you
Oh
get an
yeah,
autograph?
I gave him some, like he really needed something from me. I gave him a sleeve of golf balls, and yeah. But
Take a picture.
that's why to this day, I watch when I go to spring games to see how these great athletes interact with their kids. And if they don't, they're trash as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Vita Blue pitched in the senior league.
Oh, did he? Well, that senior league you guys had?
He pitched in the senior league in
Great guy.
'89. Yeah.
When he's not drinking.
Fort Myers, we face him, Peter. This is virtually impossible, but as I am saying, he gave up 30 runs. We got football season coming. Half the games won't have 30 points scored him, and Vita gave up 30 runs.
What are you just throwing meatballs?
Oh, they look. I'm talking about leaving a guy in there to save your staff.
His arm was pretty shot.
Yeah, I would say so. What was that senior league? You told me that story one time when we were having a bite to eat.
It was the greatest thing that ever happened to Florida. 1989, I saw a little ad in the newspaper. Wanted former major league players to play in a league in Florida in the fall of 1989. So I called the fellow who started this league and said, "I'd like to come down and write a book about one of the teams." He said, "Well, by all means, come on down." So they had a meeting in Palm Beach, and I sat with all the owners, and I chose the West Palm Beach Tropics. They had, who was the great Mets home run hitter?
Dave Kingman.
Kingman. They had Kingman.
And Chicago Cubs.
They had Dick Williams was their manager. This was going to be the place where I was going to live for the rest of my life in West Palm Beach. the next day I got a message. Give us a call. We don't want you. I said, what do you mean you don't want me? The guy who was the PR director of the West Palm Beach Tropics was a friend of Jim Valvano's, and I had just written a book called Personal Fouls that had gotten the guy fired. So they don't want us. Okay. Well, I had a contract to write this book, so I went to the fella who started the league, and I said to him, what am I going to do now? Well, he said, well, I own the St. Pete Pelicans. You come and write a book about the St. Pete Pelicans. And I did, and that's how I ended up in St. Petersburg in 1989, and I've been here ever since. And we won the championship.
How was Bobby Tolan as a manager?
Bobby Tolan was wonderful. In fact,
That's
he
an
was
old Cardinal.
incredibly disappointed. See, one of the problems was that the major leagues never took our senior league seriously. And one of the reasons is because
Kind of like in golf, the Champions Tour.
no, well, they made a mistake. They chose as our commissioner. Who was the fellow who sued Major League Baseball after getting traded from the Cardinals to the Phillies?
Flood, yeah,
Kurt Flood. We made the mistake of making Kurt Flood the commissioner.
When
everybody hated him.
Yeah, he was still persona non
Well,
grata.
everybody in the major leagues hated him because he was suing baseball at the time. So that was a big mistake.
A huge mistake.
So it turns out that the major leagues decided anybody who plays in the senior league, they ain't not coming back to the major leagues.
Oh, wow.
And that was true. We had some players. We had a young catcher who very well could have played in the major leagues, but they refused to take him. He got as far as AAA, but that's as far as he got.
Butch Benton?
Butch Benton, who was the #1 draft choice of the New York Mets one year and was a total failure at the time.
But so was Sean Abner, right?
Well, yes. But Brooke Benton made it to the AAA, but they never brought him up to the majors, and they certainly could have. And Bobby Tolan certainly could have been a manager in the major leagues. But again, because of their dislike of our league, nobody from the senior league made it up to the majors again.
How many years did that league last?
It lasted an entire year and a half. Christmas 1990.
So
There are two owners of that Fort Myers team. And one, what's the famous family in Delaware who owned everything? DuPonts, yes. One of them was a DuPont, and the other one was a drug addict.
Well, they had some
It
bank.
turned out that DuPont finally figured out that his partner was a drug addict, and he called up and said, "We're leaving the league. We quit." Wow. So that was the second thing that happened. The first thing that happened was that the owner of the Orlando team stole $13 million from the Detroit mob.
Why don't you write this book?
I know I did. I did. And in the fall of 1989, he disappeared and was never to be seen again. This guy.
Was Jimmy Hoffa's brother?
He could have been.
What the hell?
He could have been.
Wow.
He could have been. We figured he was buried, in somewhere inside the Orlando baseball field.
The Dreamers.
So
Dreamers.
anyhow,
Exactly.
Tinkerfield had a
was
really long
Tinkerfield.
history.
We played on Tinkerfield. That's where we played. And so you had two owners of the 8 teams. Not only that, but they made a mistake the second year. They wanted national advertising. So they took one of the teams and put it in California. And put
That's
one
good.
of the
That's
other,
good logistics.
Yeah, well, they put the other team in Arizona.
Sounded like Trump's USFL back in the day.
and that's a whole other story. Nothing was as stupid as that.
What about Vince McMahon's XFL, which was pretty bad as well?
Well, that's true, but oh my goodness, don't get me started on Trump and that USFL.
We won't go there.
Okay.
All right. That's Peter Gollenbach, accomplished author, of course, and then Michael Loritz, another young author in his own right.
Thank you for the young there, Mike. I appreciate it.
Well, look at me. You are young. Peter is the youngest. I don't even know how old you are. It's none of my business. And then, of course, you got Kip Ingle to his right, and then Baseball Ben Botham, who's the baby of this panel.
I guess so.
But Baseball Ben Botham is a historian and has done a lot in the Negro League conversation and went to Savannah State an HBCU. Did you do that just so you could get involved to do the Negro League?
No, I went to Savannah State because they offered to pay for me to play baseball.
I gotcha, I know.
So I was
Well,
like,
we had your
there.
coach on years ago.
Yeah, good old Carlton Hardy. He's
Nice, great guy.
He's still coaching, not with Savannah State anymore, but he's still coaching up there. I believe in Georgia still. He's a good guy. Former mate. I don't know if he made it up to the bigs for too long, maybe just a cup of coffee, but I know he's with the Phillies organization for quite a while.
All right, so let's talk some more Rays. Let's go back as we were talking about these decisions that they made at the trading deadline, which everybody seems happy about. And from a chemistry perspective, we talked about during the first half that's one of the keys to this team is the chemistry. Is everybody in agreement there?
Yeah, absolutely. They all get along really, really well. I think Peralta's going to fit in just fine. Hicks is going to fit in just fine. You know, these guys, you know, the three big guys they got, Wells, Hicks, and they're all just, they look like team guys. They look like they're going to fit in perfectly.
Well, they want to win, baby. I mean, you know.
Well, Heim will fit in the most because more than anything else, they desperately need somebody else who could hit behind the big three.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and having a left-handed catcher is pretty impressive too.
Left-handed hitting catcher.
Hitting.
That's been a
Not
left-handed
catching.
catcher since Benny DiStefano, I think.
Mike
that the last
Squires.
Yeah, Mike Squires did.
Is that the last one?
DiStefano was, I think, in the mid-'80s. He was a Pirate catcher they put behind the plate for a couple of games.
Well, it's
just
not,
doesn't
and it's
seem
not
right.
as crazy as the Pine Tar game when you've got a left-handed second baseman there, Don Mattingly, and you got that fly hawk in center, Ron
You know,
Guidry.
I was going to say Gidgey was playing center field in that particular game. Yeah, one of Billy's better moves.
Share that with our audience, because I don't remember that.
Well, George Brett was
I know the whole type, the Pine Tar, and I know the umpire very well. He's from Des Moines, Iowa.
well, I mean, George Brett gets a hit that theoretically could have won the game, and Billy Martin comes out of the dugout and says, the bat is no good that he used because it has too much pine tar on it, which, if you think about it, is utterly, utterly absurd. However, the umpire decided to uphold Billy's complaint and called him out. And then everybody went crazy. They decided they would, play out the
George
rest
went a
of the
little
game.
crazy.
they would play out the game. Oh, you should have seen George Brett, what he did after that call. Oh, boy.
They're holding him back.
It's a classic.
Everything he could do not to kill somebody.
I met George. My son was going to Rockhurst University in Kansas City, and I met him at George's restaurant, and I had to ask him that question, and he said, let's not talk about that.
George, one of the real gentlemen of baseball.
Oh, yeah, great guy.
Lovely.
He would come up to Des Moines for our Iowa Cubs Fan Fest, which for a AAA team, our owner had deep pockets, and he was a baseball junkie. He loved to have the big names come in.
Yeah.
And George would drive up. It's only 2 hours and 45 minutes.
George almost
Every
hit
year.
400 one year.
Yep.
George was a Charlie Lau follower.
Well,
That's a batting style that you just, Wade Boggs' picture's right there. We don't see that batting style very often.
And do you know why?
we got pictures of Wade Boggs with a couple of buckets of beer, too.
Yeah,
But there is a reason
just a
you
warm-up.
don't see the Charlie Lau hitting anymore, and that's sabermetrics, analytics. What Bill James had to say was this: the team in a game that hits the most home runs wins the game 75% of the time. So what do? People who are following sabermetrics, analytics, managers, general managers, they get players like Reggie Jackson. You get players like the guy from the Mets, Kingman. You get players like that. You get players like Mark McGuire. You get players like Jose Canseco, who hit home runs. Because if you get more home runs than the other team, you will win 75% of the time.
All-star catcher Brian McCann for the Atlanta Braves told me, all I care about is I get 35 swings, and if I hit 35 bombs, whatever happens in the other 350, 400 at-bats that I have in the season, don't matter. Give me 35 swings. That's all I need.
And this is what has happened to baseball, whether the old farts like it or not.
But I would say that I mean, especially with the Rays, there is a bit of a resurgence of putting the ball back in play. I mean,
because those guys can't hit.
Yep. Arise has been doing it for years. Ichiro did it for years.
Oh, Ichiro.
They were just standouts.
Ichiro. I mean, Ichiro was like Pete Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, there was only one Ichiro.
Right.
He had talent. I mean, he must have had 1,500 hits in Japan before he came to the United States and got 4,000 hits.
That's one of Ben's favorite players.
Oh yeah, I love Ichiro. He's my favorite. Growing up watching him play. Are you kidding me? How could you not love him?
You could. The man was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Peter, on Yandy Diaz's 35th birthday, and you just said the man can't hit. The man's a hitting machine.
No, I didn't say he can't hit. The top three guys can hit.
Oh,
He's
okay.
the guy at the top.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
He can hit. The rest of them can't hit.
I haven't seen Kip get that worked up in a while.
The other 6.
I mean, you've got people like Taylor Walls, who may well be the best shortstop in baseball.
Can't hit.
I mean, you have the guy bunt. If I'm the manager, I'm going to have the guy bunt because he strikes out more often than not.
But they actually put the ball. The Rays do put the ball in play, even if it's a weak ground out to the shortstop. That's one of the reasons they picked up Hicks, though, is because he doesn't strike out. Like, that was one of the big things. You know, you get a catcher that puts the ball in play. He's a left-handed hitter, but not striking out is so key in this. Making the fielders field the ball is essential because obviously you can't get on base with a strikeout.
Well, you got to make sure you don't hit into a double play.
This
though.
is true, though.
That's true. This catcher pickup was huge.
Right.
I mean, the fella who runs this team right now, he's just terrific, absolutely terrific, and he's an analytics guy. Yeah. He is.
Well, I think forget about all the conversation about the stadium and where they're going to be. I think the rest of this season, the fan base for these Tampa Bay Rays needs to get on board.
They're on board.
The
crowds of the last couple of weeks.
Well, I was going to say, as football season comes in, don't forget that they're still across the street. Is you lose a lot of fans to football starting in September.
Well, you only lose them on Sunday.
Yeah.
But the focus should be, just as much on the Rays during this period as it will be on the Bucks.
I guarantee you, if the Rays are fighting for the championship, if they're in the ALCS, those football fans won't matter. They won't matter at all. And in fact, I have to tell you, a couple weeks ago they opened up the 300 section, and I was able to sit back in my seat.
You were up there, weren't you?
Section 300, row B, seats 7 and 8.
Were you in heaven?
Wendy still has her name on the seat.
Really?
Still up there. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Oh, it's cool as could be, and it was wonderful. Yep. It was absolutely. It's my favorite place to watch the game. But I mean, they refused to open it up. I don't know why. I mean, they had 25,000 people the other day.
Next time if they do that in September, I'm going to send one of these young guys. We're going to shoot a little video reel to put on our Instagram.
So great up there.
of your lovely wife and her seat up there.
Well, okay.
Which is cool.
I used to sit in 301 and 301, just to the first base side of the 300. So I guess that's 301.
You were about 100 feet away.
Yeah, I loved it there. Like, I split season tickets with a guy I used to work with, and I would have the Friday games and the Tuesday games, and he would have the other ones up. I loved it up there. It was just like that's where I watched Garza's no hitter.
Absolutely,
like
you did.
just
So did
watching down from there.
No question.
So yeah, we were like you said, 100 feet away from.
I watched that from my
right.
couch.
Yeah, it was great, and that's where I watched one of the game that really turned me on to the Rays was a May game against the.
You were a Mets fan before that.
Yeah, because I just started going to Rays games, and it was like Longo's 5th game in 2008. It was a May game. They had just beat the Red Sox in a game, but they'd come back. Then they got swept in Fenway. They're coming back, and it was John Garland versus James Shields.
Yep.
And the two of them pitched a shutout game until the 9th inning. And I think it was Spire. Longo hit a game-winning home run in the bottom of the 9th to win the game. The game was over in 2 hours and 5 minutes. I was never back so quickly at home until the current time clock rules. But it is one of my favorite games. It was just a May game, but I was like, that's something special going on down there.
I challenge anybody in this market to have talking heads like I do that can give you that kind of detail going back. And every one of these panelists can do that, and that's why I love having you guys together. Hey, Peter?
Yes.
What year did you start your rotisserie league?
1984.
1984. He was fantasy baseball before it was.
Ours was the oldest rotisserie fantasy team in the country.
Okay, my next question, since I've got Kip here and I got Ben here.
Actually, yeah, because we inherited the people who did it originally did it as a National League team. Those are the people who wrote the first book, who had the first team. And then some of them decided they would also have an American League team. But then after having to, pick two different teams, they decided this is not a good thing. So they basically handed over the American League team to us. So we had the first American fantasy team in New York City.
And a lot of you guys were writers.
We were writers and sports editors and yeah.
And talking heads like our
No
guys?
talking heads, but we were a lot of sports editors and writers.
Jeez, that's tough
And
duty.
I'd say of the 12 people who were back there then, last year 2 of them have died. 1 of them was thrown out. 2 of them were thrown out. Another one quit because he was a Trumpian and we couldn't stand him. And but there were 7 of the 12 who were still around. Yep.
Did you ever get into the world of collecting? Because that's where I'm going to take this before we.
Boy. I had at one time the world's largest autograph collection in the whole country.
Share that with these two, because that's
I
their.
had letters from Ruth and Gehrig and Honus Wagner and Ty Cobb. I had a 7-page letter from Ty Cobb. But I, at the time, back in the early 80s, I owned a home in Englewood, New Jersey. It was 14 rooms. This was after the Bronx Zoo. The publisher gave me a check for $100,000, and I decided to buy a house. So I bought the biggest house I could find in Englewood, not knowing that, you don't write a $100,000 book once in a lifetime. And so at some point, I had to sell my collection so that I could pay the mortgage. And Barry Helper was one of the big collectors. And I sold him my entire collection for $65,000. And about 4 or 5 years later, the thing was worth about $1 million.
I was going to say, hopefully you didn't do this to yourself. I remember selling some incredible baseball cards, and the guy would, 10 cents, no, pennies on the dollar. And the guy was older than me, and he'd come in to work my first job out of college, and he'd give me an evaluation every day. 60 grand, and I sold it for $200. Same thing. I hope you didn't do that all along the way, thinking, my God.
I had one collection, and stupidly, if I had kept one of the books, there was like 25 books of stuff. And if I kept one of the books, I never would have had to worry about money in my rest of my life. But I didn't. I was stupid. I gave him everything.
Wow. Kip, have you ever run into a guy like that?
Well, that's a wonderful story, but the you run into it all the time, and it's just part of the collecting world, and that's why get 3 bids next time. Take it to.
No, it was.
But certainly material like that, to have a 7-page letter from Ty Cobb and
Ruth too.
You had Ruth, Babe Ruth.
I had 3 or 4 things signed by Ruth. Ruth wrote a letter that gave the four records that would never be broken, which was typed out, and he signed it at the bottom of it.
Hey, this is a little off. Well, it's baseball. Last night, I don't know why, but the Bad News Bears, and not the Walter Matthau version. And Sandlot were on back-to-back, 2 classics.
Yeah,
watching those, and the value of cards and things like that, the nostalgia.
Right.
Didn't we have that conversation one time? What was the best baseball movie? Were you with us?
Oh, we've definitely had that. I know
Yeah.
I've participated in that.
Bang the drum slowly. Curveball.
Good.
And the catcher spits.
Oh, yeah.
Bang the drum slowly.
Bingo Long and the Traveling
best
All-Stars and
Bingo Long.
Motor
the
Kings.
best baseball movie.
He's going to go way back.
No, not at all.
The Babe.
No.
Busy Dean story.
The fabulous actor.
James Earl Jones?
No.
Robert Redford.
Redford.
Oh, The Natural.
The
The
Natural.
Natural.
That was a great movie.
Stupendous movie.
Great movie.
And he was a fine ball player. I mean,
in his own right,
amazingly
yes.
enough, you know, if you go to like the Lou Gehrig story, where the fellow who played Gehrig was batting right-handed, and they had to switch the thing around to make it look like he was batting left-handed. But Redford was the real thing.
Yeah.
The Natural was a tremendous, tremendous novel, and it was a tremendous, tremendous movie. And the women's baseball,
Oh, that was a fun one,
A League
too.
of Their Own.
Yeah.
The League of Their Own, also a wonderful, wonderful movie, without a doubt.
Great one.
League of Their Own was excellent because it was Midwest based. You know, our neck of the woods. These guys wouldn't know about
Fort
the Midwest.
Wayne Daisies, as Whitey Herzog used to say. We couldn't beat the Fort Wayne Daisies today. that was Whitey Herzog. And we come in and playing those Mets in the '80s. We couldn't beat the Fort Wayne Daisies today.
Didn't you have a book on the Cardinal organization too?
The Cardinals and the Browns. Yeah, the Spirit of St. Louis. I stole it right from Charles Lindbergh.
I can't believe you didn't grow up a Cubs fan. You grew up in Illinois.
I grew up. Who?
Me,
Oh,
Peoria.
and you weren't a Cubs fan?
Oh, gosh, no. No. Dad was from Southern Illinois. Mom was from Wrigleyville.
Well,
and,
you should have been a Yankee fan.
I was. Everybody's a Yankee
There you
fan.
go.
There we
That's
go.
for sure.
But circling back around in your sale, this Barry Helper that fleeced poor Peter down here, he didn't just fleece him.
He didn't fleece anybody. Don't start. He didn't fleece anybody. Not anybody.
The crazy
Don't
thing,
start. He didn't fleece anybody. People sold him stuff, and he was gullible enough to buy this stuff from him. And it turned out after he died that some of it wasn't really Babe Ruth's shirt, because they looked at the collar and there was an inch off or something like that. And they accused him of somehow fooling the public, which he did not do.
He didn't do intentionally?
No, not ever, not once.
Where do you hear it?
Not even once. Don't start with me.
The interesting thing, though, George Steinbrenner even sold him part of his collection, and that he was a minority owner of the Yankees back in the day.
He owned a share. Barry and I used to go. That's a funny story too. So it was Old Timers Day 2001, and I'm teaching at Rutgers, and so Old Timers Day that's very close to Yankee Stadium. So I called the Yankees and I said, you know, could I get a pass, please, to come and see some of my boys, to come see Sparky, come see Jim Bouton, come see these people? And they said, sure. So my son was 12, 13 years old at the time, and I brought him with me. So we got on the elevator, and the PR guy of the Yankees, and he had the same name as a catcher. What was that guy's name?
Rick Cerrone.
Rick Cerrone. Thank you. Thank heaven I have this gentleman here with me. Rick Cerrone.
He's the man.
Rick Cerrone says to me, I'm sorry, children are not allowed in the clubhouse. Okay. So he gets on the elevator, and I'm standing there, and who walks in but Barry Helper? So I said, Rick Cerrone just told me that I can't bring Charlie, my son, into the clubhouse. And Barry says to me, screw him. Bring the kid. Let's go. Okay, so the three of us get on the elevator, go down to the clubhouse, and my son is thrilled. He gets to meet Paul O'Neill. He doesn't care about my guys. He cares about the Yankees.
Of course.
Of the day. So Charlie and I are standing next to each other, and Rick Cerrone looks at me, and he looks at Charlie, and he goes, is that your son? I go, yes. He says, you've defied me. You are banned from Yankee Stadium for the rest of your life. So I go to Barry. I said, Barry, what am I going to do? I'm banned from Yankee Stadium for the rest of my life. He says, come on. Come with me. So my son and Barry and I, we go up to George Steinbrenner's box. And who's there but George Steinbrenner's daughter and George Steinbrenner's grandson, who's about 12, 13. And my son, who's 13 and a ball player, is standing there playing catch across George Steinbrenner's desk. You know, this ball, he's got all these pictures and all this valuable stuff. And the two of them, these two kids, are playing catch for about an hour.
That's classic. Too bad we didn't have video.
It was hilarious.
Video camera.
And so, you know, only at Yankee Stadium could I have been thrown out of Yankee Stadium for life and
in the owner's box.
George Steinbrenner's box for the rest of the game. Too much.
Great
much.
story. Gentlemen, thank you very much. That was a superb hour of conversation, over an hour.
We can go home?
Baseball, yeah. Well, we got the Seminole Band over here in the
my
wings.
goodness.
Yeah, I feel like Jimmy Fallon. This is we're going to close up with the band today here on the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection on our YouTube channel. Peter Gollenbach, Michael Lawrence, and of course Kip Engel and Baseball Ben Botham. You're sticking around because these are Seminole
Yeah,
kids.
I ain't leaving.
You ain't leaving.
Mike, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
you, Mike.
We're brought to you by our good friends at Body Armor, Coca-Cola, Monster, as well as Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. Now, Bradley, bring the musicians up, the talent up, to join us. What does what do you have on?
Oh, my Letterman jacket.
Get a good shot. Get a good shot of this.
Beautiful.
Look at this goofball. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Want them just to line up right back here?
What's that?
Want them to play over there? Or you want them to line up back over here?
Wherever you think's the best. Well, we can get a camera angle.
Yeah. All right, guys, come over here this way.
Yeah, they need. We're gonna have them.
So you're gonna stand probably.
What do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4.
We got a ton of these guys.
5,
Holy
6.
moly.
Ben, you better get over here.
I don't-
You probably know some of these.
I haven't had any of them, Mike. I don't know who these kids are yet.
Well, they're Seminole Warhawks.
I know they haven't taken my class. Somebody's got to sign up for my elective.
But you know, it's funny, Ben. They all call you Coach Botham. You know.
Well, that's good. They know what's up.
They know. Well, some things.
All right, this conversation is brought to you by Body Armor, Coca-Cola, supporting all of our high school coverage. And, of course, we're going to be launching a new show on Wednesdays. That'll be underwritten by Primetime Preps and Athletes for America, and I'm looking forward to that as well. But these kids, they work harder than the athletes.
You got
As
that
I've
right.
said in the past, I live right across from Northside Christian, and I hear them constantly practicing. I mean, I live, a block.
Yeah.
Tops. So I know how hard you guys work. And any of this core went to the Rose Bowl?
Yes, they did. Yeah, actually, yeah. Was it all 5 of you went? 6 of you? Sorry. All of you went.
What a thrill of a lifetime, too.
Absolutely.
Well, Bradley, you take it and explain to our audience as you're on our YouTube channel what you have on.
All right. Well, real quick.
Looks like
this
a
is-
NASCAR coat.
Exactly. Yeah, this is my Letterman jacket. I graduated in 2006. I also went to the Rose Bowl as well. So got my patch on there, and all my years are right here on the side. And yeah, so I got to show my
that's a
work.
proud alum.
They've seen me wear this coat, on certain occasions. So yeah. All right, you guys ready? All right, Dylan, I'll kill you in. I'll kill you in. Are you ready? Hang on. All right, joining us here from Seminole, Florida, please welcome the Seminole High School Warhawk Marching Band, drum major Dylan Fitzy. Go for it. Beautiful, beautiful, guys. It brings back so many memories. All right, guys, put your instruments down and head on over here. Look at that, Mike. You can see.
I should have got some cymbals. I could have finished it off with some cymbals.
You can see the orange and
Get over
green
here,
in Ben
Ben.
Botham.
Was that your war? Was that
Mike, you need some maracas. We can get you some of those to get you moving a little bit.
Was that your school fight song start?
That was it. Yeah, it was a fight song. That's what I hear every Friday night, every first down, touchdown, everything, and field goal. So, anyway, oh, Benny's joining in. Okay.
Yeah, why not? Well, I feel like some of them have seen me.
Yeah, some of them are definitely
yeah.
Noticeable faces.
I know the sound. I don't know the words, but
Already.
yeah, I don't know. I think we sing it at graduation, and that's about
No,
it.
that's the school. That's the school alma mater, dude.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, the fight song's different. So, alrighty. Once again, guys, thank you for being here today. Of course, friends and family are probably tuning in right now on YouTube. Again, they can drop some comments, say hello, and everything. So, alrighty. So let's go down the line here. Introduce yourselves, guys. Make sure you talk into the microphone. Everyone wants to hear your beautiful voices and
Nice
who
and
you
loud.
are. Yeah, tell us who you are, what your position is, and you all are upper officers up in the band. So go ahead, introduce yourselves.
I'm Kelsey. I'm the field commander, Woodburn field commander. Yeah.
Go for it. Go ahead. Talk to that one.
I'm Emma, and I'm the inline drum major.
All right.
I'm Connor, and I am the brass field commander.
I'm Brady, and I am the band captain.
My name is Dylan, and I'm the drum major.
My name is Casey, and I'm the percussion captain.
Alrighty, guys. So welcome, of course, to the show. It's always great to have you guys down here. So, all right. So you all have had a very interesting summer. You know, one thing I want to talk about is going through and learning a show. For many people who don't know this, it is a rigorous process, always changing, okay? Tell us what the summer has been like for you guys learning the show. And Mike, if you're listening to this, the show this year is titled Gangsta Paradise. Gangsta Paradise. What was
Mike's a gangster.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So tell us, tell us real quick. Actually, we'll go ahead and start with Dylan down there. What is the show? What's the music in the show this year?
We have a lot of like Mission Impossible. For our part 2, we have this kind of a tango song. It's called Tank. It's really cool. Yeah. And for our closer, we have the song Gangsta's Paradise.
Alrighty. So, all right. So that's an interesting lineup that we got, though, Ben. I mean, this is stuff we all know, right?
That's pretty cool. I like that. What caught my attention is the I don't even know positions that you guys play. I'm a sports guy, so I don't understand. You guys are saying commander and you know, like it sounds like you guys are in the military. What do these different positions mean? Because I know nothing about the band. All I know is you guys sound damn good, and I love seeing you guys out there on the football field. So. Yeah, come to the baseball games too. Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, explain your positions and all that on the field.
Yeah. So field commanders, we're mostly in charge of visual stuff. We help the band go across the field and stuff, stretch them out. Drum majors are there to help the band be in time. Band captain oversees everything. He's basically like Mr. Madrinen's like little helper sometimes. Percussion captain oversees all the percussion stuff. We have a lot of percussion this year. Yes. So it's really good that we have her.
So who's the one that keeps you all in time?
That would be the drum majors.
So you better not be late to any of my classes.
I guess not.
Keep them all in there. If you're keeping them on time on the field, you got to keep them on time in the classroom.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right, so guys, real quick, did Mr. Madrinen ever tell you guys why he chose the songs for this season and chose that show?
Go ahead, yeah, like the thinking behind the songs we choose mainly goes into what our show theme is. So last year it was a pirate show, and it's really what just ever complements us best. So last year, since it was a pirate show, we did a lot of pirates.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Brady, what was the show title last year?
Oh, it was Hoist the Colors. So it was a big pirate show, and we really just go with whatever's going to complement our show best, and then through that we incorporate our visual, and that complements the music. So it all stems from the show theme, and that is decided like right now. They're probably deciding another show theme right now. So it's just built in like very far in advance, and then it just kind of it trickles down throughout the entire season.
And does Color Guard work with you guys with all that as well? Because I know that they're kind of a part of all this. How does that work? I'm once again
go for it. Yeah, you can answer that question.
To all this.
The Color Guard does a really good job boosting general effect, and what general effect is it helps you kind of feel what the show theme is, kind of helps you feel what the show is doing and how it's corresponding to what the horn line's doing. So a lot of the times they use flags or rifles or sabers just to help you convey. Like on impacts, they'll do a flip and catch when it hits. This year, to help the general effect, they're using trench coats and hats.
Oh, really?
As part of the choreo. So that'll be interesting.
Interesting. So, all right. So one of the things that I think people know about Seminole High School right now is it is under construction. You all have had to make adjustments. What's some of the things that you've had to do changes-wise to practice during the summer?
Like changes-wise, we usually have everything set up at the high school. Obviously, we have like a structure of how everything's supposed to go, and it's in its specific order. With the construction, that's kind of thrown us a bit off track. So what that includes is like us taking all band things from the high school and moving them to the middle school. So that doesn't just get done like on a limb. That comes a lot from communicating with everybody in the band. It's not just us 5. We really just help provide support to everybody else in the band, and they all help get it done. So that includes like practice times stay the same, but everything's in a different spot, and it kind of just jumbles everything around. So like everybody can be communicative, and like us being there to help everybody just helped it move along really smoothly. And I think it improves us overall because it puts us into a new set of standards that we have to deal with.
You know, also, too, for a lot of people, they think the band will practice in the football field, and that is not exactly true.
Yes.
Where do you guys practice at?
We practice in the parking lot. We have a football field drawn out on the parking lot, and just basically resembles exactly what we do on the football field. But we spend all summer on the parking lot, and then eventually we'll make our way to the grass.
You know, I want to talk to our percussion down there. So during the summer, how much does your drill, let alone your stuff, change? Is it pretty consistent like theirs guys, or?
It changes a lot because as we go like through the season, we realize that it never like lines up right with the horn line. So we make adjustments so that we all sound better and we all work as a team to make sure that the show is the best it can be.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to talk about Friday Night Football real quick, guys. So you guys are excited?
Yeah.
It starts next week. You guys will hear me, obviously. But so let me ask you this. For how many of you seniors? Just raise your hands real quick. Okay. So this is your final season technically and all. So
Yes.
how do you guys feel about coming to an end? Is it kind of bittersweet or?
We've been doing this for 4 years. Like, it's sad, but like we're ready for the next generation to take our spots and show how amazing Seminole can be. Like, we're ready to move on, but we still love what we do.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, I think it's just like continuing throughout the years, like how we've all excelled each year, and for it to finally stop.
Yeah, I think it's like this being our senior year, it really kind of like you look back on it and you think about how much work you put into it, and then you think about how much you're getting out of it, and it's just incredible. Like, band teaches you so many other things except for musicianship. Teaches you work ethic and communicative skills on a different level that you would get, you wouldn't even come close to if we didn't have that in the band. So like, just looking back on it, you're really grateful for all the people you've met, all the experiences that you've had, because like you create a group of people that you can constantly feel comfortable around, and really you can really just be yourself, which I feel like in some groups that's just not an option. So it's really sad looking back on our senior year, but at the same time, because of everything the band has taught us, we're really ready to like move on, and we're not going to be struggling when we leave high school. We're going to be able to like just continue growing.
Absolutely. You guys have leadership skills. Speaking of leaders, I'm going to go real quick to Emma and also Dylan. So you guys are the ones on top of the stand, the drum major stand and all. So I want to know, what was the process, let alone the audition for you guys to become drum major? Dylan? Oh, Emma, go ahead.
It's a really stressful process where we have to prepare pieces and perform in front of the officers before us and our entire upper concert band, and they ask you questions, we prepare pieces, and we conduct in front of them. And most of the candidates that go through the audition process are all self-taught and everything, so we all teach ourselves, work towards a common goal, and then it's a nice thing that everyone comes together and bonds over the fact that they want to do something better and want to be more than
So it's nerve-wracking, basically.
Very.
It's not easy and all that. So it's not just guys have always referred to it as Dr. B. You can't have Dr. B constantly going for any of the metronome. That's a metronome. That's what helps keep them in time.
Dr. B?
Dr. B, yeah.
Why is it Dr. B and
That's
not
what
Dr. M?
Dr. M, well.
If it's a metronome,
yeah,
I feel like it
well,
should be Dr. M.
that's what it's called. It's always been called that. All right, Dylan, of course, we'll talk about something with you, but what was the process like for you auditioning?
Very stressful. I would say the same thing. Yeah, really, we just need to conduct pieces, but all the drum majors really work together. Even though most people didn't even get it, we still worked as a team.
Yes.
And no matter who got it, we still achieved. And it was really great, no matter what.
All right, I'm going to embarrass you for just a minute, man. Listen to this. This is a legacy guy down here. Last year, his sister, Maddie, who was also on the show, she was drum major the last 2 years. His dad was drum major in 1986 and 87, and his uncle was also the drum major in 1989 and 90. Legacy. We got a legacy down there.
Yeah.
Got some shoes to fill, man. How does it feel now to be the drum major and all? Do you have a little bit of that family nervousness, or?
I do. Sometimes they look at me like I'm doing something wrong, but I just got to stick with it. But it's great. I love the stress.
Have you ever seen your dad just do like a look like, come on, man, come on. We practice this.
Sometimes, I guess, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, okay, all right. So one of the things that each season costs obviously money to do, and you guys, I tell you what, Ben, the baseball team does some interesting fundraisers. These guys do a very interesting fundraiser. I want to talk about one that you did during the summer, and that was a murder mystery. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the murder mystery is we basically hold our own play. So we'll use our facility, but obviously we're under construction, so the middle school was generous enough to let us use theirs. And so we'll have this dinner, and we'll set up the whole cafeteria. We do everything. We practice for weeks and weeks in advance. And we just invite people out. You can come buy a ticket. We serve you food, and you get to watch a play. So it's just a really fun way to include the community in something that we do all the time.
Now, what was the food? Because that's what's going to draw me in.
Yeah.
What was it this year?
It was beef cutlets, chicken, and salmon.
Oh, look at that.
man. Yeah.
That's definitely a dinner
All
for me.
right. Yeah. Why didn't I get a ticket? What's going on, guys? I'm
You gotta
chopped
reach
liver
out to-
down at the baseball field. I mean, come on.
You got to reach out to Coach Botham. So, guys, during the school year, guys, of course, start on Monday.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Oh, is it Tuesday?
Tuesday
Oh,
is when
Tuesday.
they're
Oh,
back,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Okay.
I need another day. I got a plan, Brad.
As you can see, he's stressed out. We'll ignore him for a minute. All right. So for all this listening, take us through a typical week of practice for marching band to get a show ready for Friday night. For what you guys are going to do Friday.
Typically, what we'll do is we go throughout the regular school week. We have practice Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday. So this Tuesday, Thursday, we'll spend our time getting ready for what we're going to perform on Friday night. So it won't be the whole show right now, but we'll cut it into snippets, and then we'll just progress that as the season goes on. And we also prepare stand tunes for it, so that we've been practicing those all summer long. And then usually after every football game, we will have a 9 to 9. So we're gonna leave the football game and then get back to the school. We get there at 7:30 to prepare everything for when everybody comes at 8:30.
All right. So real quick, we're going to go down the line. I told you about a question I want to ask you all to think about during the show. When do you guys prefer to perform the halftime show? The field show? Is it at halftime or after the game? What do you think? What's your favorite time to perform the show?
I think it's definitely halftime. People mostly stay from the game to halftime because everyone's filling up the concessions. So if the line's too long, people just stay in their seats in the stands. So that's usually when we get the most viewership during halftime. So I really enjoy that.
Go ahead.
Agreeing with Kelsey, yeah, we have more people there, and when we go into actual competitions, we are timed to get on and off the field, and you practice how you perform. It helps to have a certain amount of time to get on and off the field and perform, and it just gets us ready for competition season, which starts in September.
Oh, yeah. So what about you, Mom?
I gotta disagree with both of them. I think it's probably better at the after the game because it builds anticipation for the people that are there to see us. It kind of builds that anticipation for the entire length of the football game, and also for the people that are there to see us, or for the band families. That also allows them to support the football team in watching the rest of the game. That also lets the football team be able to just, I guess, kind of hang back and also watch the show without the anxiety of the other half of the game. So I feel like overall aspects that are outside of the band and other people's perspectives, it's probably better at the end.
All right. Hey, guys, real quick, last year, didn't you have a couple football players that were in the band as well?
Yeah, we did too.
Really?
Now, are they returning this year, or are they?
Yeah, we have one football player in the band this year.
Okay, yeah, because I could have sworn he was wearing a football uniform last year during after the game and during the halftime
Yeah,
show.
he'll come out. If we perform after, he'll come out and we bring his instrument out there for him, and he'll come out and he'll perform with us.
All right. Brady, back to you, of course. When do you like to?
Well, I think Connor has some good points, but I'm going to have to really agree with Kelsey and Emma on this one. I think halftime is just when we get to bring the most attention, and we put spotlight on the band when we're doing it at halftime because everybody's there. Most of those people, while at the end of it, it is nice to see that some people are just there to see the band. When we do it in the halftime performance, we're kind of forcing people to see it, and I think that brings a good spotlight to us because it allows people to see how hard we work and really like how sometimes our work can pay off and we sound pretty decent.
This might be a surprise to some people out there who maybe only care about football, but there are tons of people that will show up after the football game is over just to see you guys. Yeah. And I think that's a credit to just how good you all are. It's great to see it. They're not always happy with me manning the gate, but, we make it work. And, it's great to see them coming out for you guys.
Benny, I know it's different music and all. I mean, I think I've heard them play Billy Joel once in a while and all, and Sweet Caroline, by the way. I did hear that at one point, too. But, I mean, hey, come on. They play some good music. Come on. All right, Dylan, come on.
I would actually say after the game.
Okay.
There's not really like a rush after, so we can basically kind of chill out. But also, the other team usually has a band and we also watch them, and they also watch us. So the anticipation is always on us at the end of the game. I think it's really.
And that's one thing too I've noticed with marching band. Across the area and all that, it's family, okay? And everybody, what's it like, by the way, just to kind of talk to those guys and just get to know them and see what they do and their traditions and all?
It's really cool to get to know those people. We communicate with a lot of people outside of the band, and you can get along with them as much as you want, but there's going to be that different level when you're meeting somebody else who's doing the same activity, who's working as hard as you, who is putting in the same kind of work that you are. You can kind of connect with them on a deeper level than with somebody else. So it's really awesome to see those people after the games, especially because everybody's super positive. Everybody is super, super positive towards each other. Like, even if the littlest thing goes wrong, and nobody cares. Like, stuff like that just is constantly happening, so we understand it from performer to performer. So it's really cool to make that like a deeper level of connection between us.
Hey, we didn't forget about you on the end, Miss.
I would say halftime, because I'm a drumline player, we're more hyped during halftime because we have way more energy and we're not chopped out. And also during halftime, like, I also always see my friends up in the stadium, like, watching. They have to go home because of curfew, basically, for after the game. So it's nice seeing, like, everyone during halftime and not everyone leaving after the game.
Alrighty. All right, so what... You guys have an interesting schedule, obviously, during the season. Seminole Sound Spectacular is always a great thing. Yes. What is going to be one of the most anticipated competitions for you guys? You can go ahead and answer that, man.
I think, in a way, Seminole Sound is the most anticipated competition because, if anything, it's the deepest rooted in our tradition. There's a quote on one of our pieces. It's called "The Tradition of Excellence Continues." And I know that hits hard for a lot of people because every single year you see alumni come back time after time after time just to see this tradition of excellence continue.
And we all line up on the track, by the way.
Yeah.
That's all of us down there. So.
And it's just incredible to see every single era of Seminole all unite under one competition. And this year's actually the 49th, and next year's the 50th. So it's going to be a really big deal. So that is definitely our most anticipated competition because it's also on our home turf.
Alrighty. Mike, you look like you're waiting in the wings over there.
Well, we got to wind things down, but I want to thank you guys for coming down. And I'm going to say this unequivocally. I'm certain I'm accurate. The IQ of these kids is phenomenal. I wouldn't want to put the jocks over here across from you guys and have a IQ test. You hear that, Ben? Think your baseball players could hang with them? Anyway, the dedication that you guys have, put your hands up. How many plan on continuing to do this when you go to college? Beautiful. And I remember your sister. I bet she watches you closely.
Yes, a lot.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you for having us.
We got a couple minutes. Do a shout out.
Yeah, of course.
Do a shout out to your family that obviously has been behind you since you got into this and taking you to practice and buying the equipment. Do a shout out.
I want to thank my mom and my dad for driving me to all these practices.
Their names?
Brian and Karen Kerouac. I love you guys so much and thank you for everything.
All right, young man. Legacy.
Shout out to my dad, Steve, and my grandma, Mary. Thank you for always supporting me through this journey.
Thank you to my mom and dad, Boyd and Lisa. You guys have constantly supported me throughout this entire journey. And also, may you rest in peace, Mason Dirks. He's a member of the band. He sadly passed away, but he was an incredible guy. Taught me everything I know, and his mother too, Colette Dirks. And also Mr. Madrinnen. He supports us in everything that we do, and he teaches us how to continue to grow throughout life, and just makes a huge impact on us.
Absolutely.
I want to thank my mom and dad for paying for everything.
What are their names? They're going to be
they're watching this, guys.
They're going to be watching this on YouTube. It's archived.
My mom is Sean Alligood, and my dad is Bill Alligood.
There you go.
So I also want to thank our music caption head, Rob Shoes.
Very good.
For making everything possible, doing music, doing edits to make everything sound better. And our visual caption head, Frank DiMartino.
I feel like I'm at the Oscars. Give him credits.
He's a great guy, always keeping rehearsal up. Both of them always make jokes during rehearsal, and it really helps the band, but they also hold us to a higher standard. Higher than a high school band. They hold us to a college drum corps level, and we just want to help them or we just want to fulfill those expectations for them.
Alrighty. Go ahead, Emma.
I want to thank my mom and my dad, Jennifer and Brian McCafferty, and my best friend Indiana for driving me around everywhere, and all of the Seminole Middle plant operations and administration for allowing us to continue doing the activity throughout the summer, even in the face of construction.
And a shout out to Principal Dr. Brown there.
Yes, and Dr. Brown.
Dr. Brown.
And last but
Yeah.
not least,
Of course, want to shout out my parents, Peter and Rowena. Love you. Thank you for supporting me. My brother actually passed drum major about 5 years ago. Yeah, huge shout out. Wouldn't have done any of this without him. So, and of course the band moms and the prop dads. We can't do any of this without them. Band moms help us support us. They do the fundraisers for us, so we really have to shout them out because they do a lot of the work that we have.
an alumni like Brad Richardson here.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, of course.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Seminole Warhawks. I applaud you guys. I know the hours they put in, and I'm sure you probably surpass what they put in Northside Christian because you have such a legacy at Seminole when it comes to the band. But thank you very much for taking time to come down here.
Thank you for having us.
Good luck this year, and enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, do you want to have him play one more song?
Yeah, we got time.
All right, cool. We got time. All righty. All right, guys. This is your choice of what song you guys want to play.
Do I get to pick it out? I'm kidding. I'm kidding you. All right, you guys get ready.
All
I want
righty.
some Billy Joel, Mike.
I know you do. You want Billy Joel all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Hey, we've had a great show though. The baseball panel, Ben. I tell you what, that was.
No, that was great.
You've never been down for an opening day baseball panel.
No, I went opening day.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did.
Yeah, opening day was a blast.
Remind me familiar of that. You guys ready? Let the alumni get in here so he can.
The alumni doesn't have his saxophone right now, so. All right. That's one time. Kill it. Go me.
I love me some brass. Thank you very, very much. Like I said, I feel like Jimmy Fallon winding the show down. That is the Seminole Warhawk ensemble down here. You guys have a jazz band?
Yes.
We're going to get the jazz band down here. Yeah, we'll get them down. And then we got a stage back here, too, you know. We throw you up on that stage. We're going to do that.
Oh, there's a stage now at Seminole High School that they're going to be able to use, a little sneak peek for this coming year with the remodel. Oh yeah.
Well, you come down here and we'll get a nice audience for you. I'm Mike Rickard for Ben Botham, Michael Lawrence, Kip Engel, Barry Smith, Peter Gollenbach, the Seminole Band, and of course Brad Richardson, responsible for getting them down here today. That was entertaining. Adam Fernandez, the director of video streaming, Tristan Kennedy, and of course the broke-armed one, Jacob Magruder, who's back off the IR. Thanks for listening to the Tampa St. Pete Sports Connection, a Shipyard Sports product. Wishing you and your families a fabulous weekend. God bless you. God bless America. And as always, be sure to have a championship weekend.